The Maschine 3.1 update has added the ability to create your own custom chord sets, which was one of the most highly requested features in the Maschine community. So it was definitely needed, and we'll have a quick look at how it works and also make a beat with a custom chord set. But the implementation could be better. So here's how NI could improve it in case they plan to develop this further. So chords can only be created with the Maschine MK3 controller or Maschine Plus in controller mode. So you can't input the notes from a MIDI keyboard, and this is the first thing that I feel that needs to be added. So even if you can play the chords on the keys, it would be a quick way to save them in chord sets and be able to play them when you don't have your keyboard with you. And I think this is the main benefit of this user chords update. It's great if you only use the Maschine controller and no keyboard. Otherwise, if I know the exact notes of a chord, I might as well just play it on my keyboard, you know? But it's worth noting that you can play the user chords from devices like Maschine Micro Mark III, Maschine Jam, Maschine Studio, Complete Control Mark III or Mark II or Complete Control M32 or the A series, but you just cannot create them from these devices. And here's where my second suggestion comes in. It would be great to just have more pre-made chord sets actually. This would be useful for playing chords and voicings which are above my skill level and knowledge. Otherwise, like I said, I might as well just play the chords on my keys if I know all the notes of the chords. And another thing, Ableton recently released a beta version of Live 12.2 where they've added a Max for Live device called Expressive Chords. And the chords coming out of it can sound really convincing and a bit more like they were played by a human, due to the strum option and the customizable articulations for the strumming. And so this is my third suggestion. Strum and articulations would make this so much better, and no, you can't really fake it with the arpeggiator. Otherwise, NI have done a good job keeping the controller-centric workflow of Maschine, and it's good that they are prioritizing working with the controller and not the mouse and the keyboard. Otherwise, if you're gonna be mousing around, Maschine loses its advantage over other platforms. So I appreciate what they've done here. Right, so let me create a custom chord set and show you how it's done. So we go to chords. We're gonna leave our scale to chromatics so that we have access to all notes and not be confined to a certain scale. With the mode, we go to user chords. And then as you can see, we then have 16 chord sets and they are empty. Actually, I've already created some chords in the first one. So let's go to the second one, start from scratch and create a new chord set. Hit the user chord button. And so when we press a note on a pad, it will be added to the chord. And as you can see, if a note is added to the chord, the pad lights up in white. And so the chords that we're going to create here, they're going to work well together to make a chord progression. So I'm just going to create a chord set in the key of G minor. So let's start with the chord G minor. I'm just going to do a bit of a different voicing. I'm going to make a G minor 9 chord. So we're going to start with F. And F, this is the 7th of the G minor 9 chord. Then we're going to add an A sharp, and a D. And to preview the chord, we can hit the preview button. So what's happening here is the fact that these notes are so close together, while you usually play them more spread out in the default voicing. So you see the interval between the A and the A sharp creates a lot of tension because it's a minor second. The notes are next to each other. And so it's quite dissonant. And so we don't even have the root note. Like, where is the G? We don't necessarily need the G, but we're going to create it an octave lower. So we hit the octave minus button and hit the G. And so the chord now sounds like this. All right, so this is our first chord. And so then I created a slight variation of the same chord. So it's G, A sharp, and a D. Oh, and by the way, once a chord set is created, you can shift it up and down octaves and even change the root note while maintaining the same chord shape, which makes working in different keys easier. And the other 3 chords are just regular chords from the key of G minor, but with an added 7th. So D sharp 7, which is a major chord, D minor 7, and C minor 7. Now, to name the chords and not have these generic names like chord 1, chord 2, etc., you need to find the JSON file on your computer and edit it. And this is also how you transfer the chords to Maschine Plus standalone. So here are the paths to this file depending on what device you are using. And then after you edit the file, you have to save it and restart Maschine. But I will link to the part of the manual where you can find all the info down in the video description. Oh, and I think you should be able to create these custom chords on Maschine Plus in standalone mode once it's updated to run Maschine 3. But don't quote me on that, as I'm not the Maschine Plus user and I don't pay much attention to it. Alright, let's make a beat with these chords. And then I play the same chords with the keyboard with an electric piano preset on top of the chords from the chord set, just to get a bit more rich, like a richer sound. Hey, so that's all I have for you today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you in the next one.